Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to Jake's virtual Vinyasa class with my two lovely and talented assistants who also happen to be SUKHA yoga instructors. So say hi guys. Hi.
Hello.
On the right, we have
Hello.
Danielle, and on the left, Sarah. So thank you all for joining us. Sarah ran a great virtual class, class last night. It was our last one here while we're shut down, and then she did a class this morning. That was just wonderful. So thank you all for joining us. I'm sure most of the people here are the SUKHA family, so we miss you. It won't be the same, but hopefully you're going to have a chance to do yoga at home, the comfort of your house, etc. So, get some water, get your props, make sure you're warm, and get ready for a fun hour of yoga. It's going to be a flow class today. The ladies are going to kind of show different levels. We'll have a level 1 and then maybe a level 2 when we do the poses, so you guys can see how to modify your poses to take it easy. I'm not going to talk about the situation outside of the yoga room. I think we all have gotten enough of that. This is just about you. It's about us. It's about tuning into your practice, finding love, finding your hearts, and compassion. So if everybody wants to start, why don't you all get in child's pose? So let's start with our head on the ground, connecting with the earth, and kind of really starting to tune in. Shut out all the noise and everything that's happened to you over the last day, the last week, and just settle into your mat. Maybe you widen your knees a little so you can open up your hips, get nice and comfortable. Feel your forehead ground into the mat, and settle into your practice. Take a nice deep breath in, fill your lungs, and then go ahead and exhale. Take a scan of your body. Notice the tops of your feet touching the mat, and your shins, your knees, your thighs, your hips opening, etc. Ryan, can you take a quick look at the screen? There's some things popping up there. I want to make sure people
It's just the comments. You're
hear
fine.
us. Yeah, just want to make sure they're all good ones and high fives and not we can't hear you or your forehead's shining in the light here. So I guess we're good. Thanks guys for your comments. Anyways, back to child's pose. Breathe in, fill up your lungs, draw your navel to your spine, let your shoulders open. Broaden, your elbows should be to the side. Your hands should be relaxed. This is a relaxed child's pose. And again, just settle in. Come to your mat. Notice your lungs fill with sweet air, wonderful air. And exhale it out. Feel the oxygen permeate your body, flowing inside you. Filling your body with the nutrients it needs. Quiet your mind. Notice your heartbeat. lying on your stomach. You can rock forward. Stretch your arms out in front of you, reaching front while you activate your toes to the back. And then on an inhale, draw your right knee towards your right elbow, just opening up your hips. Let your hips settle in, oxygenate them, and breathe. Maybe this is a simple pose. Maybe your elbow can find your knee, and just wake up that hip. Inhaling, exhaling, focusing on your breath, on your pranayama. And then go ahead and slide your arm back up and your leg back down, reaching forward to the front and back towards me. And then on an inhale, draw your left knee towards your left elbow and open up your hip on the other side. Settling in, opening our hips, warming up our body. So about the first 20 minutes will be to warm up our body, then we'll have 20 minutes of standing poses and 20 minutes of cool downs. And then go ahead and replace your leg back where you started and your arms out in front of you. Then on an inhale, lift your right arm in front of you and your left leg behind you. And just reach, stretching forward and back. Then go ahead and lower your leg and lower your arm. Lift your left arm in front of you and your right leg behind you. Stretching, waking up, focusing. And then we're going to alternate hands and feet in a swimmer's motion. So lifting your left arm, right leg, and alternating. And let's do this for a few minutes to get warm. A few minutes, a few counts. For 10, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release to the mat. So the nice example, Danielle had her knees on the mat, and that's a modification, which is fantastic. Sarah had her legs lifted, whatever works best for you. Inhale, group. And now go ahead and take your arms and interlace them behind your back and squeeze your palms together. Settle in here, and then just see if you can lift your chin and then your chest just 2 inches off the floor. Squeeze your arms together. It's still early, and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, go ahead and release, and exhale, come back to your mat. And then on an inhale, go ahead and push yourself into tabletop position. So tabletop, you guys know, your hands are below your shoulders, your navel's drawn in, your knees are above your hips, your feet are pointing back behind you, and you're fully engaged. And we can do some cat-cows. Again, you guys know this. I'm going to cue you in advance so you know where we're going if you're not following along and you're trying to watch and listen at the same time. So cat-cows, we'll start with some cows. Draw your navel to your spine, reach your chest through, your head opens, cow pose, and then on an exhale, push the top of your feet into the mat, draw your navel to your spine, chin comes to chest, and continue to do this at your own pace, nice and slow. Take 3 of these at your own pace, again, warming up. Last cat-cow, and come back to tabletop position. Then slide your left hand into the center of your mat. We're going to reach our right arms up to the sky, reaching, stretching, pushing into the mat while you reach for the sky. Broaden across the chest. Inhale. And then exhale, take that right arm, put it under your left, and thread the needle. Bring your right shoulder to the mat and your right cheek. So we can stay here, which Danielle will do. If you want to take it a step further, look at Sarah. Raise your arm up into the sky. Go ahead and bend your elbow, and you can tuck it into your right hip crease. Excellent. Find your breath. Push your left hand into the mat, extract your right arm back up to the sky, and settle it down into the center of your mat. Then on an inhale, we open up, left arm goes up to the sky, reaching, stretching, and then thread the needle on the other side. Left arm goes under the right. Again, two different ways, modifications here. If you took the more advanced pose, right arm can go up to the sky, bend your elbow, and tuck it into your hip. Notice how Sarah's shoulder opens, chest lifts towards the sky. Inhale here, and exhale. And then to unwind, go ahead and release the half bind. Right hand comes down to the mat, left arm reaches up and finds the mat again. So we're back in tabletop position. Now go ahead and take your feet and slide them over to the right and look out over your right shoulder, looking at your feet. Take your left hand and place it over your right, and we'll get a nice side body twist here to warm up. Inhale, draw that navel to the spine. And again, I'm going to kind of show you, I was sure and scrubbed my hands, but you'll notice we're going to get a really nice stretch through our side body here while we do this. Inhale, exhale, come back to center, tabletop position, and then on an inhale, pivot your feet to the left, right hand goes over to the left, and again, get that nice side body stretch. So this pose, even though it's slow, it's not difficult. You can be nice and active with your core, your belly button, and really feel your obliques get a nice stretch in this pose. Great, inhale and then exhale, come back to center. And then once we're in tabletop position, we'll prep and we'll proceed into downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, go ahead and plant your feet into the mat. Push your hips up and back, and you'll see both ladies have a really nice triangle pose. So just some cues here. Main finger points forward, fingers are spread, forearms aren't locked, they're nice and smooth here. They're stretching across the backs, hip up and high, feet track below. You'll notice you can put about 2 fist widths between their feet. Their heels are right behind their second toe. Great alignment here. And then if you guys want, go ahead and pedal out your feet, settle, warm up the back of your body, and get nice and comfortable. Great, downward facing dog. This is a resting pose. Come to this pose if you want. Also feel free to come to child's pose if you get a little bit tired. Then on an inhale, lift your right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Hold it here for a breath. And then on an exhale, draw your knee towards your nose and think cat back like we did earlier in tabletop position. And then go ahead and shoot our right leg back behind us. Then bring your right knee to your right elbow. Hold it up nice and high, and then shoot it back. Then take your right knee to your left elbow, hold it nice and high, and set your right foot down outside your left foot and left pinky. We're going to stay here and then prep for fallen triangle. So from here, we push our right hand into the mat, our left hand reaches up to the sky while we lift our hips up to the sky. Excellent. Pushing, reaching like we did before. Bring your hand down. Extract your leg up and back, three-legged dog, and then settle it down into downward facing dog. Great job, guys. First little mini sequence. Then inhale, lift your right leg back behind you, and this time stack your hips, opening them up, getting a nice hip opener here. And then again, if Sarah wants to take it a step further, we'll have her go ahead and flip her dog. Feel free to do that. Feet pivot around. She's pushing into both legs. Stomach's lifted. Head is facing here. 2 excellent poses. Great pose, Danielle. Inhale, Sarah, go ahead and lift your arm back up, your leg back up. Go ahead and square off your hips. And Danielle, lower your legs and come back to downward facing dog. Excellent work, ladies. And Ryan, our videographer, And from here, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale your left leg back behind you. Draw your knee to your nose. Think cat back. And then go ahead and shoot it back. Draw your left knee to your left elbow, nice and high. And shoot it back. Inhale, exhale, left knee to your right elbow. Hold it here for a breath, and then go ahead and place your foot outside your right hand, and then open up like we did before into fallen triangle. Excellent work. Modification here, if you need it, is to have your knee down. Inhale, exhale, place your hand back down on the mat. Extract your leg up and back, three-legged dog, and then settle it back down to downward facing dog. Great work. Inhale, your left leg up into the air. Stack your hips, bend your knee. Take a nice breath. We can stay here, or like Sarah did on the other side, flipping her dog, reaching up and back. The nice thing about what Danielle's doing is she's prepping herself for later when we do Ardha Chandrasana. So really nice job with the hips. Inhale, exhale, bring that leg back up and around, Sarah, three-legged dog, and lower it back down to the mat, downward facing dog. Excellent work, guys. Why don't you go ahead and lower your knees, catch a breath, come into child's pose for 3 breaths. So now that we're warmed up a little, you might want some water, you might want to towel off, you might want to make this a more restorative child's pose or more active, and reach forward with your hands, pushing back your hips. A really nice assist that since Danielle came today, I'm going to give her this assist where I actually put some weight onto her lower back and let her hips open and settle. So if you don't have someone here to do that for you, you can always push into your hands, Danielle, which will drive your hips back and help you settle in. So again, this is a really nice restorative pose, but you can make it more active depending on your goals. Great. When you're ready, come back forward into tabletop position. And then push yourself back up into downward facing dog. Then inhale your right leg back behind you. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and step your right foot inside your right thumb. We're in a low lunge here. Inhale. Exhale, using your knee, your hands come up to high lunge and breathe. Inhale, your left leg should be nice and straight. You're on those left toes. Your feet are on train tracks, not a tightrope. Your navel's drawn in, shoulders plugged. Pinkies can rotate towards the camera, the front of the room. Inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and lower your right arm so you're reaching back towards me, and then look back over that right shoulder. So a nice high lunge twist here. Pretend someone's pulling on both your fingers in both directions. Inhale here. Exhale, bring that right arm forward, back up into high lunge. And then go ahead and place your left foot at a 45-degree angle, coming into Warrior One. So a little rotation of our hips here. And breathe. Inhaling, exhaling. Go ahead and pivot back onto that left foot. hands can find the mat. Pivot your toes forward. Hands find your hips. And then slowly lift up, reach up. Exactly. You're okay. Perfect. Inhale, point your toes to the right, and then step your left foot up to meet it. Releasing your hands by your sides. Mountain pose. Close your eyes. Find your breath. Come back to that intention. And breathe. Inhale your arms back up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift for length. Exhale, forward fold. Step jumper back into plank pose. Excellent. Then you can lower down, knees, chest, or chin, or chaturanga. Finding baby cobra, cobra, or upward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Then lift your left leg back behind you. Inhale. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and place it inside your left thumb. Spin your right foot back down at a 45-degree angle, prepping for warrior two. And then windmilling your right arm open and finding that beautiful warrior two pose. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, flip your front palm. Exhale, raise that arm up to the sky. Reaching back, hand can slide down your right leg. You can tuck it into your left hip crease. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, if you have the bind, release it. Come back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, barking at you. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward, lean forward. Triangle pose. Inhaling here. Exhaling, go ahead and bend that knee, lifting back up with your core, warrior two. And then inhale, bend that front elbow, placing it on your left thigh, reaching up with your right hand and forward. So here on this pose, really take the opportunity to feel like a line of energy, a lightning bolt through your right side body all the way through, turning that pinky. But feel the stretch here through the side body. A wonderful pose here. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and lower your hand. You can reach through and find that bind if you took it on the other side, or in the case of Danielle, that hand finds the mat. Excellent. Notice how both of them are opening their heart up and letting it shine to the sky. When they come out of this, or you come out of it at home, draw your navel to your spine. Go ahead and release the bind, and then come back to that warrior two position. Excellent. Excellent work. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that front knee. Pivot the left foot now to face the other wall. Your hands can find your hips. Heel toe your feet in so they're mat width apart. And then we're going to come down to squat again, perhaps with goalpost arms and our favorite mudra pose. We're prepping here for crow position. So from crow, your hands will find the mat, downward facing dog arms. Yes, if you're a little close to your friend, offset. But the back of your knees will find the back of your triceps. You'll tip forward, having a nice firm base, raising up onto one toe, and then the other. You can use a block. This is kind of our playtime. The key here is notice how Sarah's looking forward. If you're looking here, your weight's going to be back there. So if you're having a hard time, shift forward and look forward. Excellent, Danielle. For those of you that have the practice at home and want to take it a step further, feel free to lower your head to the mat, and we can come into tripod headstand. Certainly up to you. We'll do another inversion in a second, but it's up to you. Inhale, exhale. To come out of the pose, come back to squat or malasana pose, hands to your chest, and breathe. Go ahead and push into your feet, coming up into starfish, reaching up, spreading our hands up. Hands can find your hips. Come back to the front of the mat. Excellent work. We'll do a couple standing poses here. So think tree. If you'd like to get a little water, you're welcome to do that. Firmly plant your left foot, coming up onto your right toes, lifting that right knee up, opening your hips, and you can either find your ankle, your calf, just skip your knee, or come above into your thigh. Pushing that foot, opening that leg, your hands can come to prayer, or feel free to raise your branches and grow your branches up overhead. Maybe you wave them in the sky. Excellent, you guys look great. Find that drishti. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back to prayer, and then take your legs slowly off your thigh, but this time lean forward, reach forward, shoot that right leg back behind you, and come into warrior three. So we really want to push through that back heel, lifting our back, coming nice and strong through this whole back body. Excellent. Inhale here, go ahead and lower your hands, stack your hips one over the other. Left fingers will be at 10 o'clock, and we're going to open up for Ardha Chandrasana. Excellent, guys. Again, notice the stacking of the hips one over the other, the heart opening to the sky, pushing through the back foot. Excellent. Go ahead and lower your hand back down to the mat. Square your hips off. Bring your left foot to meet your right. Inhale. Halfway lift for length. Exhale, forward fold. Navel to your spine. Bend your knees. Arms up overhead. And hands to your chest. There's our right side. What's next? Our left side. Okay, perfect. Come onto your right feet. Up onto your left toes. Inhale your left knee up, and then go ahead and open your hips like we did on the other side. Again, find your ankle, calf, inner thigh. Set that foot in nice and firmly. Draw the navel to the spine. Hands to prayer mudra or to your heart space, and then go ahead and grow your branches if you did on the other side. Excellent. Maybe the wind blows. Maybe you're doing some hula. Ryan, you have an awesome hula back there. Inhale, guys. Excellent. Great, tough pose. Bring your hands back to your chest. Take your foot gently off your thigh, and then go ahead and reach forward, keeping your knee nice and tucked, and push back through that left foot, reaching forward, leaning forward, finding that drishti. Breathe into the pose. Excellent work. Inhale, go ahead and release your hands to the mat. And then when you're ready, stack your left hip over your right. Your fingers will stay at 2 o'clock, and we're coming into Ardha Chandrasana. Again, feel free to find your block here. I'm just going to open Sarah a little bit more, so watch what happens if you have a wall. Lean into me, stacking that hip, pushing through that foot. Excellent pose. Inhale, exhale, go ahead and square your hips off. Bring your left hand to find the mat. Left leg meets the right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift for length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees. Arms up overhead, reverse swan dive. Hands find your chest. Samastiti. Inhale, your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift the length. Exhale, forward fold. Hands find the mat. Step your left foot back, and then your right. Push up, plank position. Slowly, slowly lower down to the mat.
pushing through your toes until you find your stomach. We'll do a couple back bends here, so you can take your hands and interlace them above your caboose or your glutes, or whatever your favorite word is. And this will be perfect. Squeeze your palms together, raise your arms up off your fanny, lift your chest, and breathe for 3, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and release and come onto your left cheek. And then go ahead and squeeze your hands together. This time, when you lift your chest up, engage your spine, lift your feet up. Reaching forward for 3, and 2, and 1. Lower down to the mat. Onto your right cheek. And you can do that same pose again, or if you'd like to take it a step further, for bow, go ahead and bend your knees. Your feet will point up towards the sky. You can reach around and grab your right, and then your left foot. Inhale, kick into your hands. Exhale, raise your chest, lifting up for 3, and 2, and 1. Release your behind. Lower down to your chest. Windshield wiper your feet to the right and to the left. Plant your toes. Push up into tabletop and back into child's pose for just a breath. From here, come back to table. Push back into downward facing dog, and then lift your right leg back behind you, placing your right knee outside your right elbow and laying your right shin across the front of your mat. We're in pigeon pose here, so walk your left foot back. It should be directly behind your left hip. Your hips should be nice and square. You can walk up onto your fingers or slowly walk them forward, drawing your navel to your spine. Inhale, go ahead and walk your hands back under your shoulders, planting your fingers, coming up onto your left toes. Shoot your right leg back behind you and lower it down onto the mat. Inhale your left leg back behind you. Exhale, left knee goes outside your left elbow. Shin goes across the front of your mat. Again, settling in, right foot behind you, right leg. You can come up onto your fingers. You can walk your hands forward. Draw your navel to your spine and lean out and over your left shin. Inhale, go ahead and push into your hands. Walk your hands back under your shoulder, plant your right toes, and extract your left leg back behind you, setting it down next to your left foot, and in downward facing dog. Excellent. Go ahead and lower your knees to the mat. Walk your hands under your hips. And now we'll do a couple of versions. It's your choice here. So Sarah, Danielle, who wants to do from our back or from candlestick, and who wants to handstand or shoulder stand? Your choice.
I'll go upside down.
Upside down? Okay, great.
I'll do shoulder stand.
Okay, perfect. Great. So, two different options here of going upside down. The goal is to have our heart above our head. We're going to have Danielle do the level 1 pose, which basically is from your back, planting solid base on the ground. Legs will come up. If you want to take them up nice and slow, it might give you a better core workout. But the great thing is here, just like she's standing on the floor, nice firm base through the back of her legs. And this is level 1 and a perfect pose to invert. So this may be perfect for you. If not, and you'd like to come up into candlestick, Danielle will go ahead and push her elbows in and reach up, pushing up, basically drawing her elbows in under her hips while she's supporting her back, legs point up, drawing up. And then again, as you settle into this, you can keep walking your hands under your back and a great pose. So this may be perfect. If you want to take it a little further and come into plow, she can reach her legs. See how she's nice and raised here? That allows her to clear her head and her toes are firmly on the mat. So some really fun shoulder stand inversion that Danielle's doing. So feel free to stay in whatever pose you want, Danielle. Sarah, on the other hand, she's got the basket pose for her fingers here, which is great. Some of you may like tripod. I like the basket that Sarah's doing. Hands are in a basket. She's created a triangle between her hands and her elbow, which is her base. Then she's walked her legs up, and they're right above her hips. Her hips are right above her shoulders, so that's enabled her to bring her legs slowly up overhead without hopping, without anything. So if she takes her legs and squeezes them, or if she bends her feet, just like, what's that? Don't tickle you? Her feet are just like Danielle's. They were walking on the ceiling. So you see we've got that same nice straightness of her body. She's right above her shoulders. She's unsupported. Again, this pose, the more you get used to it, you can stay up here 2, 5, 10 minutes. It's really peaceful. It's really cool. Whatever works for you. The other option too is to do a handstand, very similar to the headstand pose, downward facing dog hands, and then your legs kick up over your shoulder. So excellent. When you're ready at home, go ahead and come down from that pose however you'd like. And then we want to counter that back bend or that pose with either child's pose that we have here by Sarah, or Danielle, if she can come into fish pose, another really nice pose with her elbows under her back, head tipped back, again relaxing there. And any of these, draw your navel to your spine just to make sure to protect your lower back. So great pose, guys. And at home, hope you love being upside down as much as I do, and as crazy as that is. So excellent. So inhale, if you're in fish pose, go ahead and bring your knees to your chest. If you're in child's pose, just stay there and push up into table. Danielle, bring your knees to your chest, and then go ahead and rock slowly forward and backward to come up to easy seat, and then transition forward into tabletop position. So excellent work here, gang. Inhale, push back up into downward facing dog. We're going to keep transitioning. Right leg back behind you. Inhale, exhale, bring your right foot outside your right pinky. We're in lizard pose here, similar to where we were earlier in pigeon, but here we're working on our hips a little more. So make circles clockwise and counterclockwise. Again, opening up those hips, working those Kegling muscles, and then go ahead and shoot that right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Lower it down next to your left, downward facing dog, and then inhale your left foot back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale your left foot outside your left pinkies. So again, we're in lizard here. You can come onto the outside of that left foot. That opens your hips more. Move them around in a circle. Excellent. Inhale here. Maybe you come down to your forearms. Whatever suits you best. Come back onto your hands. Inhale, exhale your left foot back behind you. Lower it down. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. We're going to prep and jump up to the top of our mat. Inhale, exhale, jump up. Straighten your knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift for length. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, and slowly rise up, reaching for the sky. Hands find your heart. And Samastiti, mountain pose. Inhale, find your way to your mat, into easy seat. Bringing your left leg out to the side. Right leg finds the inside of your thigh. Prepping for Janu Shirsasana. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Twist just a quarter shift over your right knee. Right knee, yeah. And then twist and come back, reaching out over your left. Reaching out and over. So you may just find your shin. You may find your foot. If that's easy, you can take your hands and cross them over. You're at the wrist. Your right hand can find the outside of your left. And breathe. On an exhale, maybe you create a little more room in your lungs for you to reach over slightly further over that left foot. Inhale, go ahead and walk your hands back up. This time, open your right arm up to the sky and place it beside your right hip. Then we're going to push into the right knee, right thigh, lifting our hips up off the mat. Left arm will come up and over. Inhale, sweep that left arm across your body. Lower your hips to the mat. Excellent. Then slide your right leg out to the side. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, draw your navel in. Exhale, forward fold. Excellent. Inhale, slowly walk your hands back forward. And then bring your left foot into your right thigh. Janu Shirsasana on the right side. Raise your arms up overhead. Slight twist, yes, to the left. Draw your navel in. Shift to your right and reach out and over onto the right side, right foot. And breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, go ahead and release. Walk yourself back up. Planting your left hand by your left hip. Pushing those hips up to the sky. Right foot comes down. And breathe. Inhaling. Exhaling. Lower those hips down. One more time. Open that left leg. Feet spread out. Reaching up. Exhaling. Reaching forward. Inhale. Walk your hands back. Bring your feet underneath you on the floor. Knees are up. Grab the outside of your knees and then just lift them up a foot off the mat. An inch off the mat, excuse me. 2 feet, 1 inch. There we go. Inhale, go ahead and release your knees. Your arms can come out. We're prepping for boat pose here. You can keep your feet here on the mat if that's easier. Otherwise, lift your knees. You can bend them parallel with the floor, or you can push through them into V shape. Focus. Push through your heels for 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly lower down until you're 6 inches off the floor in canoe pose. Push through those heels, draw your navel to your spine for 3 and 2 and 1. Find your mat. Excellent. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big, huge hug. Hug yourself for 3. A little bit tighter for 2. Squeeze, scrunch your face up, your toes, your fingers for 1. Tighter, tighter, tighter. And then exhale out into Shavasana. Come back to your breath. Come back to your drishti. Come back to your intention. Come back to why we're here. Self-love, compassion for ourselves and for others. So Shavasana, your feet should be splaying out towards the corners of your mat. Your lower back pushed into the mat. Your shoulders slightly tucked in with your elbows rotating up and outward, palms facing the sky. Clearing your mind, clearing your thoughts.
chest. Give yourself one more hug. And then roll over onto your right side to a fetal position, a rebirth. After practice, maybe your right arm's a pillow for your head. And when you're ready, push your left hand into the mat and come back to easy seat at the top of your mat with your eyes closed. Your hands can be on your knees, facing up to receive, facing down to ground. And I just want to close practice with one of my favorite quotes that I just really like. It's pertinent to all of us, our yoga journey, pertinent today with what's going on outside. This is by a woman named Caroline Adams. Your life is a sacred journey. It is about change, growth, discovery, movement, transformation, continuously expanding your vision of what is possible, stretching your soul, learning to see clearly and deeply, listening to your intuition, taking courageous challenges at every step along the way. You are on the path, exactly where you're meant to be right now. And from here, you can only go forward, shaping your life into a story of a magnificent tale of triumph, of healing, of courage, of beauty, of wisdom, of power, of dignity, and of love. Bring your hands to your chest, your heart. Come back to your intention. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for joining Sarah, Danielle, and I in this wonderful practice today. A practice for you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, our friends at home. Have a great night. Bye. And thank you, Ryan.